Well, firstly, thanks for your time. Appreciated. It's obviously been a little bit of a different summer with no long foreign tour and going in and out of games. You've had the World Cup to deal with as well. 2 weeks away from the start of the season, where do you assess where you are as a group?
Yeah, I think we're in a really good spot, to be honest. I think we feel that we've made improvements to what we had at the end, moving through last season, towards the end of last season. Coming back, trying to tweak things, trying to push things a little bit, trying to add to it. That's part of improving the group. That's a little bit of some of the younger players being a little bit older, more experienced. They come back that little bit better, know what to expect. Some of them second season, so I think that makes a big difference. So all them little things, you know, what we're planning for add up to improvement really. Mixed bag of layers of squad of who's at different stages, but I think we've got a balance got it pretty well. So I think we're, by going into next week now, get through the weekend, I think we're in good shape.
Obviously, you're in the middle of your first transfer window as Man United manager. There's obviously always a clamour from fans for new signings. You're in the middle of that now. How do you assess, or what's your view of how the window has gone and what else maybe to come in the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, I think for us, we're delighted with the players we've brought in first and foremost. I think we've improved the group, we've improved the squad in different ways, balance, quality and the direction we want to go in. So the players that we've brought in, I think we've done really good business and we've got really some top players. So we're delighted with that. We always want to improve. We want more. We need more. We keep looking to how we can do that. So that never stops. We're conscious of that, and we've got to keep pushing.
Michael, you've been associated with Manchester United for such a long time. What is it like being manager of this football club? Like everywhere you go, like last night, there were people wanting to speak to you. You didn't see me, but I saw you and Jonathan walking around Trondheim, and even you were just on a quiet walk. You were just on a quiet walk, but people were stopping you for autographs. What is that like? Because the role brings with it an expectation and a demand for success, but also you are the public face of this football club.
Listen, it's a fantastic position to be in. It's a really privileged position, and I fully understand what it is, what it brings. There's the football side, there's the tactical, there's the training, there's the putting the team together, and then there's the whole other side of like you say, being the face of it, leading it, and trying to set the right messages and the right behaviours and the right tone, and what we want to look like as a football club, and what we have looked like as a football club, and what we believe in as a football club, and the supporters. And I love the position that I'm in. You know, I really enjoy that side of things. And like last night, for instance, I never take anything that this position and this football club brings for granted. And driving to the stadium last night, seeing that last night, it felt a bit of an occasion, and it really showcased in some ways the support and what we are as a football club. You know, so to be at the top of that and leading us into new territory again last night with that of the first club game. You know, we keep pushing boundaries, and it's a great position to be in. Yeah, and I genuinely absolutely love every part of it.
And it also means that you've got to sit in front of people like us and answer questions on people like Marcus, for instance. Your history with him is kind of immense, but in the moment, do you have to speak to him when he comes back into the camp? Do you put an arm around him? How do you deal with that situation? Because I don't think even he thought this time last year that he would be back here now.
To be honest, we're really calm. We just treat it like anybody else coming into the group, and there's this slight twist that he knows the club as well as anybody, and that's a real positive. You know, he's been here all his career, all his life before the last 18 months or so, and to understand what it means, and so that side of things is naturally, you know, that's a given. I know we've got history, but I've got history with a number of the players as well, so that doesn't make that a unique situation at all. And treat him as exactly like any other player, you know, and bringing him into the group and carry on as normal. He brings the group things that we haven't got, and we want to get that balance with every individual player. And Marcus has come back and he's in good form, and it's been good to have him around this week.
Just one more on Marcus, Mark, if you don't mind, though. As you mentioned, it's a slight unique situation. I mean, do you feel maybe empathy for him, because it felt like last season he thought his future was at Barcelona? So, for him, I think the fans feel, is he completely committed to Manchester United or not? Because maybe he felt his future was at another club. So have you had conversations with him just about, being reintegrated at the club, but also maybe just feeling a bit more loved coming back, because he has had 2 loan spells away?
Yeah, I think football throws different directions and throws ups and downs. That's the career. The very, very best of careers have ups and downs, and you've got to manage them through the stage. To have a career for 10 or 15, something even longer, to have it that it's never going to be smooth sailing. And sometimes things work, sometimes they don't work. But you've got to keep moving forward, and you've got to keep what's next, what can be achieved, and if you keep looking back too much, it doesn't do anyone any favours. So I think that's the way we're taking it, and there's no reason otherwise. On a personal level, as a professional level, and what we're trying to do as a group, it's understand where we're at as a group, understand what we've done already and what we need to do next, and that's individually, and all the players are part of that. I'm a big part of that, and we just keep looking forward. In some ways, it feels a fresh start, with new players coming into the building, new challenges, new things to try and win. It's quite exciting.
Just want to ask you about Kobbie as well, Michael, if you don't mind. I mean, were you surprised not to see him get a minute at the World Cup this summer? And I know you were quite open during your career talking about your experience in 2010 and the long-standing impact that can have on yourself. And I'm not comparing the two experiences, but did you reach out to him maybe after the World Cup? And I imagine you've spoken to him now. He's back, but did you feel for him a little bit this summer?
Yeah, I spoke to him. I spoke to him all the way through the World Cup, little bits, not loads, but little bits. It's challenging, we all see from the outside the glitz, the glamour, the all the positive side of football, and it's players are human beings, and we all are. We have our ups and downs, so it's important that we support each other. And it was a good experience for Kobbie to go there, and he's at a World Cup, so that step to be there is a big step. He's still such a young man, and he's achieved so much so far, so quickly, that to be at the stage he's at is an achievement in its own right. But yeah, for sure, it's frustrating when you want to play and you want to have an impact, and that in itself, if you're not, has its own challenges. But he's come back, and he's been in great spirits this week, and it's nice for him to be home, and looking forward to the new season.
What are your expectations for the new season? Because obviously when you were a player here, and still there's an expectation that Man United win every game that they play, but it is a group in transition. You're trying to add to the group. How do you balance that expectation that comes with playing with Man United with maybe the reality of where you are as a group as well?
I think understanding that, like you said, understanding the reality of what we feel we can achieve, how strong we are, what we kind of have done over a shorter period of time, and what we can potentially do this season and beyond. Of course, we've got to be realistic and not get carried away and think everything is going to be rosy. That's never is, never was, never will be. So we understand that, but excited and really positive about what's next. And we've got to try and win every game. We did for the last 5 months, 6 months, and we'll continue to do that. But understand there's going to be, just like when we win games and when we go on a run, like hopefully we do, we don't get carried away and think we've cracked it. And it's constantly about, already spoke about the next thing, about living in the moment and what can we do next. And it's not always easy to do that. That's a bit of a skill in itself to manage your emotions. But you certainly got to feed off the confidence the boys have got as a group already. That's not something I can give them. They've felt that over a period of time now, and they've grown together, and you can see that there's something in there that should allow us to move forward and make good steps.
Just on that, you mentioned that it went so well when you came in on that long run of wins. We were playing 1 game a week, and you're now back in the Champions League. How different a season are you expecting this season compared to the end of last season, given the extra games in the Champions League?
There's no denying it's different to what we've had, but the other side of it, this season is almost more normal than what that was. So actually, the unique part of it was last season, if you like, not playing as many games or nowhere near as many games as we would like. Me personally, since I came to this club all them years ago, you're kind of used to playing a lot of games. The boys over the last few years have been used to playing a lot of games in different competitions. If anything, last season was a challenge for that. This season's a challenge in itself, of course, but it's not new, is the point I'm trying to get at. And we feel that within the playing group and the individuals and the staff, we've got enough experience to manage that.
How important is Bruno Fernandes? You said it's important not to kind of spend too much time looking back, but his numbers last season spoke for themselves. He's got a year left on his contract, although there's an option there. There's a lot of clubs that are interested in him. There's a release clause. I don't think he's wanting to go anywhere. But is it important for you that he's settled and kind of focused on what's in front and delivering for this team? Because it almost feels as though he was the catalyst on the pitch for everything that you did achieve last season.
Yeah, listen, we want good players, we want top players, and there's always, every good team's got players that have a major impact. That's how it is, and Bruno's had that for a period of time here, and we want to keep pushing. We still want to get the best out of Bruno and get the best out of the team around him, and he's been so positive, since I've came back, and the performance and as much as the performance is actually how he's been around the group and how he leads and takes time to help the others, especially the younger players as well. So all that comes into play, and again, he's in a really good place and looking forward to the season as well.
Michael, I just wonder, when you look at teams around you, there's been so much change in the Premier League going into the season, whether that's head coaches, significant players leaving those clubs. How much do you think this team can hopefully capitalise on the continuity between yourself, the coaching staff, and as you mentioned, a lot of this squad staying together and hopefully some players taking a big leap going into the season? Yeah,
there's been change. How much does that affect us in terms of our thinking? Not much really, until we play against somebody. It's more of us trying to get the best out of ourselves, and like I said at the start, building on what we've already kind of got as a foundation. So that's the encouraging bit, that we've gone through that spell and probably earned each other's trust in some ways, and players with it, looking at each other and looking at me and the staff and earning that, and then concentrating, come on, what can we do to be better? And so yeah, my kind of answer is that there's a lot of change, but really it's about us and what we do to maximise what we've got. That's going to make the difference for us.
If you don't mind, George, just one follow-up, if you don't mind. Just on earning that trust, Michael, was there one moment you felt that you and the staff really did earn that trust, maybe last season or whether that was over the summer, if you were to maybe pinpoint one moment?
No, not one. I think it just builds over time, and I think a lot of it's how we treat each other, and some of the tougher moments, some of the better moments, and just subconsciously learning of what kind of environment and how we want to be as a team, really. And yeah, of course, results help that, but I think it's trust's built on a little bit more than just that, with understanding who's with you, who's got your back, how people behave in certain moments is important. And we've gone through a bit of a spell like that. We'll have challenging times and we'll have some really good times, and hopefully we'll have more good times, but I think we're in a good place moving forward to fight it all head on.